It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of July 20th, 2001. We've got 4 movies to look at today, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is, of course, Jurassic Park III.
Island, they have come to rescue their son. What was that? Now they will discover. It will take all their courage.
We're not leaving without our son.
Just to survive. Jurassic Park III.
Mom?
Rated PG-13 at theaters Wednesday, July.
So Jurassic Park III is, of course, the third installment of the Jurassic Park series. It's the first film not to be directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's also the first movie not to be based off of a Michael Crichton book. Of course, the first 2 movies were based off of Jurassic Park and its sequel, The Lost World. This is a completely new original storyline, and you have the story that takes place on Isla Sorna off Central America's Pacific coast, the island featured in the second film, where a divorced couple played by Taya Leone and William H. Macy has tricked Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill again, to go into this place to find their son, played by Trevor Morgan. Laura Dern is also in here too, in some kind of a role, not really a big role, but that's really one of the biggest problems that Jurassic Park 3 has to it. And to be fair, it's a better sequel than The Lost World, but then again, that's not really saying that much. The Lost World is a terrible movie on a number of different levels, but this is one that's really not doing itself any favors. I mean, that trailer I just showed you doesn't even show Dr. Grant in there a lot. He's only in there for, like, brief flashes. I mean, it's one of those things where you blink and you look away, and you could completely forget that he's even in the movie. Like, that's how lazy this movie is at times, and it'd be interesting if the couple with the new characters were pretty interesting too, but no, they're just as annoying, and they're not really that much. They don't really do anything except scream at the top of their lungs, not at the dinosaurs, but trying to find their son. I mean, seriously, take a shot every time you hear Taya Leone or William H. Macy screaming for their son Eric. I mean, you'll be drunk by the time this movie is over, which isn't that long at all. It's only an hour and a half long of a movie, which, I mean, I'll give it this. It's a good thing that it's mercifully short. I mean, there's really not a whole lot about this movie that I can really say that's really positive about it. I mean, it's not quite as bad as everyone made it out to be. It's better than The Lost World, but it's still not a good movie. I mean, there's still a lot of things about it that make no sense whatsoever. They don't really use Dr. Grant or Dr. Sadler in this at all, like barely. Like, Sam Neill has a prominent role in this, but even then, he's not really doing all that much in there. I mean, even in Jurassic World Dominion, that movie may not have been great, but they were at least in the movie more than the time that they're both together in this movie. I mean, Laura Dern is barely in the movie and does absolutely nothing whatsoever, and it makes no sense why these two split up after the events that they had to go through in the first movie. And just like, at least in Jurassic World Dominion, they gave you kind of an idea of why these two got back together again on this adventure. And I still find, I'm sorry, the Jurassic World movies were more fun to me than the original Jurassic Park trilogy. Jurassic Park may be the gold standard of this series, but The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 are not good movies. At least Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion had those aspects to them that was just like, there's something about these movies I can take from them. I really like the way I like the visual style of the ending of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I like the idea of the dinosaurs living with the humans. I like Dominion bringing everybody together and having some fun actions with that. But other than that, though, like, Jurassic Park 3 is, but I mean, at least in terms of the quality of each trilogy, I'll gladly take Jurassic World over Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, the first one, will never be topped, but Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 really are the weakest films of those movies. Like, Lost World is the bottom of the barrel. This is close to the bottom of the barrel. I mean, Jurassic World Dominion's not too far off, but this is just, it's harmless. Its biggest thing to me is that it's just a harmless movie, and it's mercifully short. And there was at least some elements to it which I got some excitement out of, which is more than I could say about The Lost World. And it wasn't a terrible disaster like something like Jaws the Revenge, which killed that series pretty quickly. I mean, so I guess there's that. I mean, other than that, though, there's not really much more I could say about Jurassic Park 3 that's really great about it. Just kind of like, it's there, it's passable. That's the best thing I could probably say about it, is that it's a passable movie. Like, it's one that just kind of like, okay, you accomplished what you wanted to do. You got people kind of excited again, I guess, for this again, but like, not really, because this movie, as much as it was a success in the box office, it was definitely down from the previous two films. Jurassic Park at that point was pretty much done with for that at the moment, but then, of course, it got a revival with Jurassic World, and now it's kind of back again. So, just this week, actually, timing is perfect timing for this, because Jurassic World is getting another reboot with the director of Hobbs and Shaw and John Wick, David Leitch, directing it, and it's coming next summer too. So, who knows? And it's going to be a new story too. It's not going to involve anybody from Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. So, it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out, though. I wonder what they could do with that. But bottom line, Jurassic Park 3, it's fine, but it's one that I'm not going to watch on multiple occasions. Like, I'd watch the original Jurassic Park again multiple times. I'd watch the Jurassic World movies again multiple times. Jurassic Park 3, it's just kind of like, okay, you accomplished what you needed to do, and you got out of there. So with that said, let us move on to our next movie, and that is the romantic comedy America's Sweethearts.
Line, Sasha.
I-L-O-V-E-Y.
You.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, ready and Gwen, America's Sweetheart.
America's favorite on-screen couple has broken up.
She fell in love with another guy.
I'm with one now. We're a couple.
But everyone wants them back together.
You're on the air.
I can't watch you without Eddie.
I need Eddie and Gwen back together again.
And there's only one person who can make it happen.
Don't worry, I know somebody.
Wait, I love you. I'd do anything for you. You're just asking an awful lot. Kiki! I smell smoke. Could you please put that out? Please, please.
You look fabulous. What did you do?
It's my hair. She lost 60 pounds.
60 pounds?
Yeah.
That's a Backstreet Boy.
Now they're trying to keep up appearances.
Here they are, ready and Gwen, together again. Perfect.
And she's picking up the pieces.
But you want to take a swing at me, huh? Please. Come on. What is it? Come on, what is that?
Hector?
Eddie, are you okay?
Something happened tonight. Gwen was drawing me to her. And there she was. And I thought to myself, that's the woman I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with.
The woman by the pool.
Gwen.
The real story is happening off-screen.
What are you thinking right now?
Something that I should be thinking about.
Does this have something to do with Gwen?
Kiki, Kikikins, my butter has touched another food. I need new butter.
So what is it? You're in love with Daddy?
Wouldn't that be stupid?
Revolution Studios presents
Are you seeing anybody?
What do you think about how I answer that?
What? You moron! Here are your eggs. There you go.
This is a very complicated situation.
Let me uncomplicate it for you. That woman that you saw by the pool the other night. No, that woman that you just have to spend the rest of your life with. That was me.
Academy Award winner Julia Roberts, Billy Crystal,
Hey!
Catherine Zeta-Jones, John Cusack,
I've never seen him look at her the way he's been looking at you.
America's Sweethearts.
At least buy me dinner and drinks first.
Don't let me interrupt.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that trailer, because there's really no reason to see the movie. They literally just gave you every single spoiler that happens in this movie. I mean, that's literally what the whole movie is. So, but if you still need me to explain this to you, in the midst of a nasty public breakup of married movie stars, the two being played by John Cusack and Catherine Zeta-Jones, a studio publicist played by Julia Roberts scrambles to put a cap on the escalating situation as the couple's latest film has found its only twin kidnapped by the director. You also see Billy Crystal in there, who also wrote the script, and also Hank Azaria. Christopher Walken's also in here. Stanley Kubrick, good lord. That would be a different movie, bringing a guy who'd been dead for 2 years into this, but no. Stanley Tucci is what I wanted to say, good lord. Alan Arkin, Seth Green, Rainn Wilson, they're in this movie as well. I wish I could say there was something more to this movie than what the trailer gave you, but like I said, the trailer literally gives you every single thing that happens in this movie, and it'd be fine if the chemistry between the leads were any good, and no, it's not good either. This whole movie really is just a trailer that pretty much gave away everything, and nothing it doesn't show you is that genuine or exciting. Like, I don't even buy the relationships between, like, John Cusack, I think, was a really bad choice for the leading man in this movie. I mean, there were so many other people you could have gotten to play that role, and I feel like John Cusack, I don't think he is. When I think of the hottest movie stars in a movie, John Cusack's not the first person I think of. John Cusack is a great actor, don't get me wrong, but the hottest movie actor out there is John Cusack. I mean, part of that I can't buy into. And what's really bad about this movie is that Billy Crystal wrote this movie, as well as Peter Tolan, who wrote the Job and also Rescue Me, some of the best shows of the 21st century. And this is the best they could do with this. And but then again, maybe it's because this is directed by the literal head of the studio, Joe Roth, who runs Revolution Studios, who did this a couple of times with the movies he directed, including the infamous Christmas with the Cranks and also Freedom Land, which he does not have a good directing track record. You just feel like Julia Roberts is past this point. I mean, she won her Oscar earlier in the year for Erin Brockovich. It's time to move on from these and actually show what you can do as a leading actress, which thankfully she's done over the years after she won the Oscar. But this is one of those things where it's just like, everybody in this movie deserves better than this. There's nothing about this movie that is fun, that's charming, that's fun in terms of its silliness. It's just a lackluster romantic comedy that just fails miserably because they sucked you in with a trailer that was really bad from the get-go, and what they showed you in the movie didn't even come close to being as funny as that. It's just like, it wastes a lot of time. It runs way too long, too. This is a movie that runs way too long. Close to over 2 hours long. It's just kind of like, nothing is really there in this movie. It's not worth it. It's a poorly made film with so many good talented people in it. It's not a good movie. It's a really messy film on so many levels, from the casting to the writing to everything else about it. It's just a mess of a film. And hey, I guess people bought into it because it was a big hit when it came out. So what do I know? I guess. I mean, I'm just one person that's getting his opinion out there. But anyway, that's America's Sweetheart. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, which is Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
The angry inch.
When I think about all the people I have come upon in my travels, I have to think about the people who have come upon me.
Note how I almost screwed up the title again. That happened yesterday. Like, every time I kept seeing this, I kept thinking it was Hedwig and the Angry Itch. But no, it's Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So, like, it's hard for me to notice the N instead of the T apparently in the word inch. So, yeah, that's how we got to this point. So this is based off of a stage musical of the same name, and it accompanies Hedwig Robinson, played by the director of this film, John Cameron Mitchell, who's a gay East German rock singer. And this film follows him and her backing band, the Angry Inch, as they shadow this young man Tommy's tour while exploring Hedwig's past and a forced sex reassignment surgery. And the same guy that played him in the stage musical plays him in this. I've never seen this movie. I've always heard about this movie. I remember hearing about it when it came out, in terms of like knowing its existence through video and DVD. But I just never really wanted to check this movie out in any way, shape, or form. It's got good reviews. It did pretty well to have an established cult following to it. I think they were trying to set this up to be the next Rocky Horror Picture Show, but the Rocky Horror Picture Show works in its own way, where it's still something that you could still see in theaters. Is over 50 years later. I mean, that's a movie that's really held up in terms of like the cult following that it's had, and you can still see it at midnight showings in theaters. And I think that was what Warner Brothers was trying to do with this film, but I don't think it really has had that kind of an effect to it. But it did have a cult following to it. I mean, so it does have its followers, but just not to where I think they really wanted this to go to. But I wouldn't be against seeing the movie, honestly. I just never really had the true need to really watch this movie in general. Well, it's just kind of like, okay, it's there, but I really have no real desire to watch this movie. There's nothing that made me want to say, I gotta check this movie out at some point. But I mean, it could be good. It could have some interesting concepts to it. I mean, it looks like a fun movie in general, but like I said, nothing really makes me want to see this movie right away, so I can't really say for certain that I will check it out at some point. But maybe down the road I might check it out, but not right now at this point. So So yeah, Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So I can finally get away from that movie for now. So let's go ahead and move on to our last film, and that is Terry Zweigoff's latest film, Ghost World.
Ghost World.
So this is based off of Daniel Clovis's 1990s comic book, an underground comic book, focusing on the lives of teenage outsiders Enid, played by Thora Birch, and Rebecca, played by Scarlett Johansson, who face a rift in their friendship as Enid takes an interest in the older man named Seymour, played by Steve Buscemi, and becomes determined to help his romantic life. Another one I haven't seen before. It's one of those ones that, again, kind of like with Hedwig, it's one I've been wanting to check out for a while now, mostly because of the casting. I mean, Thora Birch, Scarlett Johansson, Steve Buscemi, Brad Renfro, Elena Douglas. I like Terry Zweigoff. I like his last movies that he did, which were only two after this one, in particular, Bad Santa and Art School Confidential. But it's just the one I've just never really had the time to go check out, and it's one I've been kind of wanting to, mostly because of the cast and the idea overall. I mean, it could be something really fun. It's one of those ones that, it's another one of those ones that I've been wanting to watch at some point, but I've just never really gotten that urge to really go check it out and see it on a big screen, or not even on a big screen, but just in general. But yeah, it's one that I kind of want to check out at some point, but like I said, I haven't really gotten the time to actually do that, so hopefully sooner or later I will check it out. But it's one I've been wanting to check out for a while now, but it looks pretty good, so not much more to say about that one. That is Ghost World. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and when we meet next time, we'll wrap July up with two movies, including Tim Burton's remake of Planet of the Apes, and we also have the cult classic Wet Hot American Summer. So two movies to look at next time around. We'll take a look at those movies on the next episode. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off, and I will see you guys next time. So until then, take care.